Hi everybody, welcome to the Makeup Chair. Today I'm doing a series of different step-by-steps when it comes to the process of applying makeup. Now the name of this video suggests which step we're at the moment, but if you want to have a look at all the other steps you can check the link up here which will take you to the playlist. Otherwise, just keep watching. So I've already prepped my face and you can check the link if you want to see how to prep your face, but I'm going to talk a little bit about foundation before I actually apply it. So when you're in the drugstore and you're buying your foundations, it's a little bit more difficult than buying it from, a high-end store. Usually if you go into the high-end stores, they're going to help you pick out the right colour for you, but when you're in the drugstore or the supermarket, wherever you decide to buy your foundation, it's a little bit harder. So I do have a few little tips. So I have two foundations here. I have Porcelain and I have Sand. Now I know from experience that I'm very, very light skinned, so I always go for the lightest shade and then work my way up, because what you don't want is your foundation to be too dark. Your foundation is only there to kind of blend out your skin and even out your skin tone. The very first thing you want to take into consideration is your undertone. My undertone is kind of a yellow area. As you can see, it kind of looks a little bit yellow. Now when I say yellow, I don't mean yellow yellow, I mean like in the terms of makeup yellow. Then you also have pink toned, which is not like the pink behind me. It's actually a sort of a pinkish hue that's actually in people's skin, so they also want to blend that with their foundation. And a lot of the lighter shades of foundation and anything that has the word cool in it usually has a little bit of a pinkish tone. Then you have neutral, which kind of has a yellow tone, which is what I'd usually typically go for. Then you have slightly warmer ones are in between, kind of like an orange, which sounds a little bit harsh, but kind of a warmer orange kind of color and a warmer kind of yellow mixture. So if you do find a foundation that has the word cool, neutral and warm, it's usually a kind of tells you which kind of undertone it's going to work with. Now there is a L'Oreal brand I think in the drugstore that has that cool and warm, but typically they don't actually even mention it. Most foundations in the drugstore won't go on beyond about 6 or 7 colours, if that. So if I'm buying a foundation in the supermarket, this is typically what I'll do. I'll take the lightest shade because I know I'm very, very light. I'm going to take a little pump of this and I'll just pump it on the back of my hand. This for two reasons. One, because I get kind of a colour of whether I think this is going to be right for me. I also see how it works with the top of my hand. The top of my hand is typically on the dry side. I have quite dry hands, so it's going to tell if it's going to work with drier skin or if it's going to set matte. So I usually just put a little bit on the top of my hand, really blend it in, because you don't look like that when you have foundation on, you look like this. You really want to blend in your foundation to see if it matches. Now I'm going to leave that set. Usually what I'll do is I'll apply this, I'll go outside, I'll come back maybe the next day if I think it's the right shade, or I'll come back a few hours later and I just want to see if it's going to work. I also take a little bit of the foundation and I work it on my wrist. So I've just blended in some foundation across my wrist. This is for another reason. I blend it across my wrist because not only is this the lightest shade and it usually matches up with my light skin on my face, but it also has my kind of veins running through my hand, and this actually tells me if it's going to work with my undertone. So like the undertones under my eyes are the same as the ones that are running through my hand, and different people have different kind of hues in their actual veins that are running through. Some people have a mixture of like a blue and a green, which would be kind of on the neutral side. I kind of have a blue of a green, but it's more blue. And then some people have kind of a warmer one, which would be mostly a green color. In, and as you can see, it's quite yellow, so it is going to work with my colouring. I can see on the top of my hand here that as it sets, it doesn't go completely matte because it still has a nice sheen to it, but I can see that it kind of sets a darker shade than I actually expected it was going to be. You do want to make sure that you match your face and your neck area, because we don't look at people and just see face and then see neck. Everything is kind of blended in together, so you do want to make sure that it blends quite nicely, and I usually test along the neck area, maybe put a little bit here just to see if it matches as well, because you might not want to try a drugstore foundation that's been sitting there all day. Maybe other people have tried it out on your actual face, so you might want to just try a little bit across here or on your neck area, and then you can just kind of cover it with your top if you're a little bit conscious about the different coloring. Then you can check whether it's going to work with your different coloring. So instead of striping it on your face, you could try your neck instead. But I always find that getting the right one usually works if I'm going to test it on the back of my hand and on my wrist. That's usually how I do it. So that is this step completed. If you want to have a look at all the steps within this series, you can check the link up here. It's going to take you to the playlist where you can have a look at the other videos. I'm Sinead Katie, and thank you for watching.